to our very first fireside chat for the Design Talk community. We are super excited to be here today with Robin Waffle from Our Design by Resonant Carpets. And as all of you designers know, the whole idea of Design Talk is really to create or facilitate a collaborative community between us designers where we can share resources, and I am very committed to providing educational content for you designers. As designers, we are responsible for so much, sourcing everything from toilets to pillows to furniture to plumbing fixtures to rugs, and it's very, very hard to be an expert on every single one of these categories. And as we know, we rely very heavily on our partners and our vendors that we work with, not only to educate us, but to help us and guide us to choose the right, make the right choices for our clients. So Robin is going to tell us a little bit about the rug industry, and I'm very excited to be here. So Resonant Carpets has been around for a very long time, right?
Yes, over 40 years.
So tell us a little bit. You have such an interesting brand story. Tell us a little bit about and how you separate yourselves in the industry.
Okay, great. Yes, so Resonant's been around for over 40 years. They have been providing everything to do with rugs and carpets to the Canadian market. So basically a rug institution. And I've been a rug designer myself for over 12 years. So I'm an artist, I'm a designer, and I discovered rugs actually through Resonant Carpets 12 years ago and just fell in love with them. So Jordan Resnick and I, we developed this concept of Our Design, and it's a new division for Resonant Carpets. And we really just wanted to create like a really edgy, really fun, really approachable rug company in Toronto. So we spend a lot of time on designing the showroom and making it feel more like a museum, like a gallery.
Yeah, it's incredible. I was blown away when I walked in here. We're going to do a walkthrough after, but
yeah, it's really fun, and it's really like pulling on kind of that European sensibility, getting really creative, really wanting to inspire designers, make sourcing feel like fun, something you want to do. Leaning on me as an expert, that it's that designer to designer experience. So I'm not just like a rug salesman, I'm someone who passionately creates rugs like as an art form for myself. So, having that experience and able to give it over to you guys, and we can collaborate as much as you want to. You can be completely in control, or you can kind of leave it to me. And I feel like it's a really unique, kind of fun, exciting new rug company in Toronto.
And I love also how you're so flexible like that, because every designer is at different stages of their business. And some people, like myself, have established firms and they have a lot of support. So we like to have full control over our designs and do the designs, and then have you sort of support us on the things that we're designing. But other people don't have that support internally and really rely heavily on the vendors that they work with, like such as yourself, to really help them, bring their vision to life.
Yes, guide you essentially based on budget. If you have a constraining budget, we can provide things that aren't as expensive, but something that like you still want that design level. You still want it to feel special. And I think that's just, the more you know about this art form, the easier it is to specify product for all these different projects, right? So I think it just kind of comes naturally to the team here at Our Design. We have a lot of experience just as a group, and we just kind of like live and breathe rugs, and we're rug people, I call us, and it's just like easy for us to help you guys.
And the other thing that I love about the showroom is that I feel like when you're buying a rug, even if your clients are spending $5,000 or they're spending $25,000, it still ends up being a big ticket item in the project. Yeah. And this space just really, it's such a beautiful space that you can bring clients to. Like if people, designers actually want to bring their clients here and give them, an experience and have them see their rugs. It's such a beautiful showroom, which again, we're going to do the walkthrough, but it's nice that you've created that environment for us where we can bring people, and it's a very exclusive experience.
Yeah, thanks. It was something I was super passionate about in the sense of not wanting to make it feel like a rug mall, where you're just inundated with products nonstop. So I think we achieved that. I think we left like a nice space within the space to use your imagination, to get creative, to have events. So yeah, it's exciting.
Amazing. And I know you've pulled out some specific products so we can educate people a little bit. I'd love to head over maybe to the gallery and we can go through some of that. Okay. So we're in the gallery now.
Yes.
In the showroom.
I call it our gallery.
Our gallery.
Yeah.
And so beautiful. And thank you for putting all these gorgeous rugs out, and I want to hear about them. I want to just go back to when I was talking about how as designers we're responsible for sourcing so many categories.
Yes.
And it's funny because I think a lot of our vendors and partners think we're a lot more educated on each individual category than we are. So
yeah.
I really just like to go back to the basics and talk about the different types of construction for rugs,
yes.
the different fibers, and how that plays a role in cost and durability. Do you think we can
Yes, of course.
do that?
Okay, so I'd like to start with, as we say, the creme de la creme in the rug world, and they are the hand knotted area rugs. So these area rugs are really where I have the most fun with my designing. And the standard kind of hand knotted area rug is 100 knots per inch. You know, it's pretty throughout all our 8x10 rugs and across all the different rug suppliers. It's kind of the go-to. The reason for that is you get a nice level of detail, and these rugs are literally like hand knotted by people, you know, at a loom.
Where?
They'll be in Nepal.
Nepal.
You can do hand knotted in India as well, but we do the Nepal kind of. I would say is the most skilled when it comes to the customization of the hand knotted. Like they've really cornered that part of the market, and they're so talented, these weavers. And they will actually sit at a loom and hand knot, and there'll be 3 to 4 of them per loom. And there's just an incredible finishing process. It's all very romantic, very beautiful. So with these rugs, when you have the budget, they're the best to play with. They're just the most durable rugs in the world. You know, there's videos online of them, like you can literally destroy them, set them on fire, like run them over with a transport truck, put them into cleaning, and they come out looking brand new.
Wow.
So for me as an artist, it's like such an exciting medium because you're basically immortalizing your design in this rug. It becomes like a sculpture for your house, you know, and that's what's so neat as designers is if you have clients or you can educate your clients on the appreciation of these handmade pieces, they become that artwork for their home that can be passed down generations, you know, and they can even like put a little signature into them or get creative and like have their kids' names in it. Like it's just a fun,
personalized thing.
Way to make rugs. So
the collection's gorgeous.
Thank you. So these are some of my favorites. I call them my rug babies. And, these are some of the designs that I've been working on using many different fibers. And these 2x2 samples here, they are what I have hundreds of in the showroom, and I've worked really hard with my colors and my different fiber content. And you can see here I also have these beautiful renderings where I can show you, you know, the full piece next to the 2x2 sample.
And I have to say, that's one thing I love about working with you. So I love actually putting together my own designs or our own designs for rugs, but what I find really hard is selecting the palms. Like I actually want nothing to do with that. Because in the past we've gone through so many sampling, you know, we've gone through so many samples to get the right palms when we're the ones choosing it. So I love that you have such an eye for that. It can just really match whatever it is that we're looking to achieve.
Yeah, thank you. It's something that I pride myself on. I'm kind of obsessed with it. When you're getting really creative with rugs, which I love, you're playing with the fibers. It's almost like playing with oil paint in a painting.
Because the samples are showing on wool and silk.
correct?
So the samples that
Like
I'm
those,
creating,
the palms.
sorry, the palms are showing wool and silk, correct?
Okay.
And usually we're choosing from wool, okay?
Okay.
So the neat thing is when you know a lot about rugs, you start to experiment with the different fibers and you start to actually spin fibers together to create like a really rich, beautiful piece. So for example, this one that I just showed you, but I'll show you again. This rug has actually, every yarn has been spun with 1-ply nettle, 1-ply wool, and 1-ply silk. So this beautiful rug has this gorgeous, very slight sheen across the whole rug.
Yeah.
And the dye for every block of color took to each yarn a little bit differently. So you get this like wonderful, really rich feeling piece. And that's something, again, I can guide designers towards so that they get something that doesn't just feel super graphic and super flat. I find that something that I see a lot, even within our market in Toronto, is people are only doing wool and silk. So they'll do like their background wool and then their pattern silk.
I love this one, by the way.
So this one too is like one of my favorites. And this one, I can talk a bit about the fibers as well.
Okay.
This here is hemp. So this wonderful color here is a color I selected, and it was dyed to hemp. And because hemp is, derived from the plant, hemp plant, it's a very organic, wonderful fiber.
It gives you a lot of texture.
It takes the dye differently throughout the piece. So you get this wonderful, like, mottled look to your piece. And the thing that I love about this too is pairing it with a slightly raised silk pattern, because it feels so cool on your feet.
Very cool.
Really like a little massage for your foot.
Beautiful.
Hemp is an affordable fiber. It's kind of in the land of wool.
Okay.
So wool is kind of everyone's go-to for that background of
like
a
the
rug.
base.
The base. Wool is kind of pretty standard. It's super durable. It's super cost effective.
Right.
But you can have a lot of fun with it. So even like this one, I've put a lot of wool in here, but then I've paired it with cut hemp. So this is all like the same color, but see how it takes the dyes differently. This beautiful little hemp detail.
See, and looking at these rugs, there's so much that goes into like making a custom rug. Like, do you guide your like us as designers, like when to do raised piles, when it should be flat? Like I see that you have, like you will look at a design. Let's say we brought a design to you and you'd say, okay, like this one you need to have like 1 pile high or different levels.
Yeah, I think like there's definitely 2 ways to go as the designers. If you guys have a vision in your brain and you show me that sourced image and that vision, then yes, I guide you on what I think would look best as the piece. And as standard practice, we would always want to produce one of these 2x2 samples to analyze them and approve it. Now, for example, say we produced this sample or this sample here, and the pile wasn't raised, okay? And I look at that sample and I say, you know what, I think this would actually look much better with the raised pile.
Okay.
I would have the confidence to communicate that to you and your client, and I would have the samples to show, other versions of it. So we would make the call when we finalize the rug design to raise that pile height.
Right.
So that the rug comes back with the raised pile, but maybe the sample didn't have it. And we don't need to do a whole new sample.
Because sampling takes a long time too, right?
Yes. So the samples, I would say take at our design around 2 months. Can be a little less.
Right.
But they're a really integral part of the process. Now, I did recently do a custom piece for a firm here in Toronto, and we used this sample, and the full design of this
is beautiful.
Actually gorgeous. So this is the actual design for the full rug.
Wow, this is gorgeous.
And
so this is silk?
So this is silk. The raised pile here is silk. And the background I did nettle. Woven with wool. So dyed wool with some natural nettle. So that's also how detailed you can get. I can dye the nettle, or I can leave it natural. and you get more of that brown tone when it's
Gorgeous.
natural. So these are things that, you know, I know about that I would guide you guys towards. Now with this, the reason I bring this up is we had a tight timeline for a client. They loved this sample so much and they loved this design so much. And we picked out color palms. They wanted it to be all more blues, like really oceany, you know, watery blues.
Yeah.
And we all agreed on those colors, and I applied them to the rendering. And the client, myself, and the designers felt confident enough that we loved the sample so much that we're producing the rug without doing a whole new sample.
Right.
So you can take a leap of faith like that, and I'll be the one confident enough to say, like,
It's gonna
this
work.
is gonna look amazing, and then we all sign off on it. And the thing everyone needs to know is that area rugs, like handmade area rugs, are kind of like their own art form. Like they take those dyes a little bit differently, but that's what's so beautiful about it. We're starting with, you know, the creme de la creme, the hand knotted, 100 knots per inch. But another beautiful thing that I can offer is taking the knot count down in a hand knotted piece. So you still get that highest level of handmade rug, but we do it at 60 knots per inch instead of 100. Now the neat thing about that is, like, this is a gorgeous sample example of 60 knots per inch. It's all natural wools, so I've applied no colors to this. We've just
Wow.
gone in a very natural way. And it's a very like simple design, you know, line work, simple shapes. And with 60 knots per inch, like if you showed me a design, I'd be like, I could make that at 60 knots and it would look amazing. And it takes the price way down. Another example of doing something like that is with these sumac weaves.
So you showed me this last time I was here, and I love this.
So
I just think
these are
this is so cool.
stunning, and they're, you know, they're inspired by the Moroccan.
Yeah, I was gonna
type
say it
of
has
rug.
a bit of a Moroccan feel to it.
And you can see the full design is here.
Gorgeous. Like that is so cool.
And you can see too how important the samples are to, like, compared to the renderings because of the way the fibers take down.
Yeah.
So this rendering doesn't look exactly
No,
like
it
the
doesn't.
sample, and that's why you kind of need the sample stage. Because the sample's so much prettier than the rendering.
Yeah,
Like, the
but that's really helpful to see it in full scale.
100%. Yeah.
So, and then after hand knotted, what's the next?
Okay,
level.
perfect. So let's go down here. And I'd like to chat about flat weave rugs. So they are still in, you know, the higher level of, you know, the rug world, like really, really high quality, beautiful pieces. But we've taken away the pile of the rug. So flat weave essentially means a flat woven rug. The beauty of the flat weave is that you can turn them over and they look exactly the same on the back as they do the front. So they're wonderful for homes with pets and children and people that are like really like using their rugs.
Or if you have a lot of parties.
100%.
Yeah.
And you can get really fun with them. Like this one, we have like a higher pile, like hand loomed.
So you can do a higher pile.
You can, yes, yeah. So this is a beautiful line
Love
that I
this.
just got in with all these wonderful colors.
And is this hemp? What?
This is wool.
This
This
is
is
wool,
New Zealand
okay.
wool, where we've actually like woven quite a few different colors in so that you get like this wonderful, you know, abrasion color.
Gorgeous.
And so again, you can see how you can completely flip them over. They're super durable. So they're great for places that don't have like the mega budget for the high pile and the creme de la creme. But they still have that wonderful like handmade quality. The only thing with flat weaves is like this is about as detailed as you would get with your patterning. So
Right.
we would keep things pretty geometric. Moving on from that, kind of like the next level is what I call the hand loom. So the hand loom pieces are also a wonderful option for like more of a geometric pattern or just playing with fibers, like playing with different fibers, playing with different pile heights, different color combinations like this, but you're not getting as like figurative, like as detailed as these pieces.
Now, if you want to get figurative and
Yeah.
you want to have like a beautiful custom rug, but hand oh my god,
Hand knotted.
hand knotted is, see, I'm learning too. Hand
Yeah.
knotted is not in the budget. Is there another, like, can you do knotted?
So what you do is if you want like that level of detail, that's when we go into that hand tufted world. So hand tufted is still a hand done rug, but it's been done with a gun, like at a loom, they stretch the piece over like a frame,
Okay.
and they have their pattern outlined on the frame, and they actually like sit there with this tufting gun, and they tuft the piece, and then the back of the rug is there's an adhesive put on it with a backing. So if you want like a really, really detailed piece for more of a commercial project, or even like stair runners, you can go that realm, and it's just like a better quality, still handmade piece that elevates your project a little bit from just being a machine-made broadloom.
And it's still really beautiful, and it feels really
Nice
nice.
thing about what we offer at Resonant Carpets at Our Design is, yes, my world is more in the handmade, but we offer so many like carpeting options as well, which I'll show you guys when we do the tour. And the neat thing about that is if you don't have that like higher budget for the super handmade pieces, we can actually make area rugs out of some of our most luxurious broadloom. And broadloom is machine made, but we have really gorgeous, versions of broadloom, and like this would land in that realm. So we have some hand tufted, these are hand tufted, we have others that are machine made, and that's something you can even bind as a rug, and like have it as an area rug.
Right.
And it basically costs,
A fraction
of the handmade.
So I'd love to do a tour of the showroom and show everyone what you guys
Yeah,
have to
that'd be
offer.
great.
Can we do that?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course. Okay, so this is our gallery. This is where I show off my collections and any like big collaborations we do down the line, which we plan to do. And so if you just follow me. These are some of my 8x10 rug babies. We just launched this neutral curves rug collection with our big opening.
This is gorgeous.
Thank you. Yeah, I love him.
So what fibers are here?
So this one is actually a mohair silk blend.
Beautiful.
And
the background?
Yep. The background is actually pure silk.
Wow.
And this piece, if you do a little like walk around it, it completely changes how it looks because there's so much silk. So it's a inspiration was tile for this one. I wanted it to feel like a really like high-end kind of tile, but in a rug. Yeah, and then do you want to just like using a lot of the nettle in my background and pairing it with a dyed wool, and then the foreground is a wool silk blend, so you can see it again has that wonderful like mottled look to it, and it's not too shiny because there's a lot of wool.
Right.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And then this one here, we've done a solid looped nettle background, but with a recycled silk as the pattern. And you can see again here this wonderful striation in the recycled silk because it's taking dye differently because all the pieces have been reused, so they're all taking the dye a little differently. And this is a great example of something I can recommend to cut down on the cost of silk a little bit rather than going to a viscose.
Very
You could do
interesting.
something like this.
I actually love what I'm seeing over here. Like this literally looks like a piece of art.
So
It
this
is
piece
gorgeous.
I'm obsessed with as well. It's called Water Sparkle, and it's a very, you can tell there's like a violet gray.
It's just like,
And
it looks so much different from a
From different
distance.
angles?
Yeah.
And this
Beautiful.
piece here, like if you touch it, it's like one of the softest. And this is a pure mohair rug. So mohair is one of the most expensive fibers you can use in the rug world. And it's the fleece of an Angora goat, but it's so durable. It's a wonderful, has an elasticity to it. It's a hypoallergenic option to wool.
Yeah.
So, and it has this shine to it as well. So if you did your, if you wanted your accents in your rug to be shiny and super soft, and you had a budget for mohair, I would suggest going with mohair because it's just a much more durable fiber than silk is. Silk is kind of like you want it always in your bedroom, whereas these guys can go in higher traffic areas like living room. This one too, I really like too. This one we have woven the wool and the nettle with different shades of color in the background, and then the foreground animal print is pure silk. Follow me.
So what space is this?
So this is our tunnel leading into our Escher room, inspired by the artist MC Escher. And there's a little blurb about him on the wall over there. And we really wanted to kind of transport people into a world that emphasizes stair runners. So we really wanted to kind of like experiment with different stair runners, you know, do different installations.
It's really cool because people can actually visualize. Sorry, can we talk about this for a second?
Yes, of course.
This
So
is
she's
incredible.
She's one of my originals from 2013. And can you guess who it is? Have I done this with you before?
No. It's Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga. So this is a wonderful example as well of how detailed you can get with the 100 knots per inch on a rug.
Like this would be so cool in a hotel lobby or
As an art piece.
just, yeah.
So the beauty of rugs as well is they can be used as tapestries. They really help with acoustics. So it's something that could work in a hospitality scenario where
Right.
you hang it on the wall,
Yeah.
and it absorbs all that sound. So again, you can just get super creative.
And what's happening on this wall over here?
So over here we have some of our wonderful broadloom products that work beautifully as stair runners as well. So these guys are just showcased in a unique way. We wanted to treat them like art, you know, not have them just on racks and racks.
Right.
So again, like these samples you can borrow. We can specify them for stair runners or more corporate scenarios.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So where are we now?
So this is the bazaar. This is a room that we plan to have a lot of fun with, pulling on a lot of traditional pieces from the original Resnick collection. The original Resnick carpets also did have like more of this vibe to it. It was really moody, really old world. And for me, just as a rug lover, like some of these pieces are just something, you know, you just will never ever see anywhere else. This is 100% still, I think 300 knots per inch, you know, that level of rug. So it's almost like a museum in here, but we also bring in like really unique stocked flat weaves like we talked about. We have 8x10s, we have 5x8s. So we're always bringing in product that you can buy right from the store as well. It doesn't have to be custom ordered like my pieces in the front. And you'll see as you move into the rug lab just how many options we have.
So this room is just like, this whole wall is so beautiful. So these are like, tell me about this wall here.
Okay, so the wall at the end of the rug lab is a continuation of those 2x2 hand knotted rugs that I have had my hand in. So I've worked with our weavers in Nepal. I've worked on various different color combinations, fiber combinations to create just endless samples for your projects that, you know, we don't have to start from scratch. Like we have something.
Which is amazing
Yeah.
for the people that don't want to
Exactly. Yeah.
start from scratch. And then, so can we talk about this? Because I think a lot of people, a lot of the designers in the Design Talk community for sure are going to be interested. I just think it's always easiest to have a one-stop shop. So like if you're getting your, you know, custom rugs one place, I talk a lot about like building really strong vendor relationships and one relationship per category.
Correct.
And really nurturing and fostering that relationship, because the more the more you work with people, the better the synergy, the easier it becomes. And we all know that like as designers, we're always under the gun.
You're busy.
We're busy. We're working on deadlines. So
100%.
I'd love to learn about your broadloom line
Yes.
as well and how it can be used.
So we as Resonant Carpets, a division of Resonant Carpets, our design is very passionate about offering, rug samples for really every type of project. So even really big hospitality projects, like if that's your jam, like we can source you custom broadloom that could work in all of your corridors
Let's move into the broadloom
for the space. These are a curated example of broadlooms that we carry, but we have access to some of like the most exciting lines and mills through North America. So this is what we have on display, but really, again, like that's where we come in handy for you guys, because we can literally source almost anything at any price point.
And when we were in the gallery and
Yeah.
you were referencing for really, really cost-effective area rugs, there
this is
the-
a perfect place to go.
like, for example, like this here,
Yeah.
this broadloom would make a gorgeous area rug.
Exactly,
Right?
exactly. And so they would come bound exactly as you see here. They're starting at around $20 a square foot instead of $80,
Right.
right?
Even
So
these,
it's
like-
just, yeah.
Like this has that like Moroccan sort of feel to it.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
No, these are
So
really,
you guys
really, really
have
gorgeous.
such amazing options for.
So that's again something too where like if there just isn't, if you want to spend a little bit more of your rug budget on a handmade piece for that living room, when we go into the rec room or go into the child's bedroom, we could make pieces out of broadloom, and that just saves a lot of money and time, because this only has like a 2-week turnaround, or even less, because we have broadloom that we actually store in-house as well, which I can show you, and that's in our warehouse, so we can actually like pull it at any time. So these are other
these are so
examples.
gorgeous.
They're gorgeous, they're high quality, but they're very, very affordable price points.
I need to feel this. Sorry, like this is
Beautiful. And these are stored in-house. We have a huge warehouse behind us here, full of carpet, full of rugs that we rent.
And
as
do you
well.
guys do the install as well? Because I find
Yes.
that can be really challenging when you buy the product somewhere, but then somebody else has to install
100%.
it.
So we do the stair measures for you.
Amazing.
We do the installation. We do delivery. We do everything. So
You're basically like a one-stop shop.
100%, yeah, and that's where I can also act as a consultant for you, and come to a project with you. I can speak with your client as much as you want me to explain all these nuances, if you want, or I can prepare you to do it. And we do the stair runner measure, we do everything like that, and then we get you the full quote. So,
Amazing.
and I can even render things into rooms for you. So that's
Basically do our job for us.
something, the trade
Do the
program
rendering.
that's also unique to us.
That's really cool.
It's something that like I'm really good at, is I can take a photo of a space and I can make it look like an illustration and inlay those renderings so that we can really communicate how these rugs will look in an image next to the sample of the rug.
Very
essentially.
cool. So this was amazing. Like, thank you so much for giving us a tour of your beautiful showroom and really just breaking it down for us. I think it's, even for me, this was educational. Like, there's always so much to learn because, like I said, we're responsible for so many different categories and it can be overwhelming having to know so much. So we're back in the gallery sitting in front of one of your beautiful pieces.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And thank you so much for that, because first of all, the tour was amazing, and it's so nice to connect with people who are so passionate about what they do and just so knowledgeable.
Thanks.
Because again, going back, it's very overwhelming having to know so much about every single category as designers. And something that's been really insightful for me throughout this whole community and having the opportunity to connect with so many designers, it seems as though the biggest pain point amongst all of us is managing to be profitable. And one of the things that I teach in my workshop is how important it is to ensure that you're making profit on your products, on everything that you're selling to your clients.
Yeah.
It's very, very hard to rely solely on services. There's only so many hours in a day, and there's only so many projects we can do
while still maintaining a level of customer service that people expect. So
Right, yes.
I'd love to learn about your commission program, if there is opportunity. I mean, I know there's opportunity for designers to make commission, but how that works.
Yes,
And
100%.
and also, if the clients can pay you directly and then a commission is given to designers. And then the other thing is that there's a lot of people in this community that are located in Canada and Toronto like you, but then there's a ton of people that are all across the US and
Right.
even international. So
Yes.
I'd love to learn about what it looks like to work with you if these designers are not local.
Of course, yes.
Those were a lot of questions.
No,
I'm
it's all
sorry.
good.
But let's start with, do you work with designers outside of Canada?
Yes, we can work, all across Canada, in the States as well. Resident Carpets does a lot of work in the States. I personally have a background in working exclusively with hotels in the States as well. So I know a lot about, the design firms there and the purchasing firms and everything like that. So as a brand new little baby artisan, we haven't done work with an American designer yet, but Resident Carpets is stationed to be able to provide
Service.
product to the States. 100%.
Amazing.
As for our trade program, again, I want to make things like really kind of like easy and organic for the designers, and our team we're always like working together and helping each other out to source the correct items for the projects. And what we do is we just ask you, do you want to present retail pricing? Do you want to present your trade pricing?
And you'll adjust the quote based on how the
and
designers
I'm
guide you.
transparent with both of it. So we're transparent with both. So we'll often even give you the option just in an email, and let you decide how we present the quote. If we're quoting direct to you as the firm or direct to your client, it's really up to the designer how they want us to do it. And again, with the billing and payouts, we're very flexible. There's no real rule. Like
Right.
we'll do kind of like what makes the most sense for you guys and your clients.
So great to know that you facilitate that.
Yes, of
Designers being
course.
profitable on their products.
100%. And we are also really trying to offer that trade discount that's like very competitive within the market. So again, depending on the project and the products that we're doing, like we can offer a nice percentage that you can either take as payment for yourself as the designer, or pass half of it off to your client, or pass it all off to your client.
However
It's
people
really
like.
up to you guys, and we'll bill accordingly, essentially.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This was so great. I'm so excited to share this with everybody in the community and get all the designers' feedback. I know that this is Abby, who's been filming this whole time, has learned a lot. So this has just been really awesome. Thank you so much.
Yay, thanks for coming, guys.